Yeah, man, get him.
Accepting the label of black takes away the power. So let me get him, fam. Created the label in your eyes. It just makes you more easily more marginalised.
Jade, please don't talk over me. I'm allowed to have an opinion.
I'm just asking you, bro.
Right? And as I said, I was there before you was born.
Yeah, that don't mean that.
No, it means everything.
It don't mean
it
everything.
means everything.
It don't mean
because you
everything.
weren't there. It means
Bro,
everything.
you can tell me about your experience and I can accept it.
Yeah,
but what does that mean to what I'm saying, though?
You say that, but you don't mean it.
What do you mean? Because you tell me that you was called black this and black that.
Yeah. Content over everything.
And you said, you know what? I'm going to take that and use that black, and I'm saying, okay, cool.
Yeah, how does it feel?
What's that got to do with me?
No, I'm asking a question. How does it feel? Bro. I forgot you weren't there.
Bro, I weren't there when man was calling you a black man. I'm not saying I was.
You weren't there.
Why do I need to be there?
Right?
I don't care.
No, one point. No.
What's that mean? What's that mean? What do you mean?
What I'm trying to mean is that you can't empathise with me.
That's not what empathy means. I don't have to be there to empathise with you. I can understand what it means to be called a derogatory term or what you deem to be a racial slur, and for you to internalise it. Yes, or whatever.
Not what I termed.
Bro, I've been called black everything, black this, black that, black that.
Yeah. In a different generation.
Bro, okay, cool. I'm not saying I was in that
different generation.
What is empathy, bro?
No.
Do you have to be there at that time?
No. Let's stick on what we're saying now, right?
I said
what
I can
I'm trying
empathise.
to get through to you, right? You're telling me that I'm wrong.
I never said you're wrong, fam. I never once said you're wrong.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not.
I just said we got different views.
But which is meaning you're saying that I'm wrong.
No, fam, we got different views, fam.
You're telling me.
You're the one preaching about I wasn't there, so you must understand about different views and perspectives.
I'm not allowed to preach.
Get me?
You don't like when someone else preaches.
I'm just saying, you're the one saying it.
Right, so you're
what did I preach?
Okay, cool. 2 seconds. What you said to me is 2 seconds. Reason. You said to me that's the way that I took it. No, it's not a matter of attacking. You're attacking. Listen, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's context. It's teaching me. If you're going to teach me, you're younger, man. I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to. What I'm trying to explain to you is this, yeah? What you're saying is theory, a certain amount, yeah? What I'm saying is practice, right? I lived through it. What I'm saying is times change, yeah? Things are different now, right? We have, let's say, just my opinion, more strength now, or putting it another way, we're not as integrated now as we used to be. Yeah?
I can't comment on that. I weren't there. I can't have an opinion on that.
Okay, fair enough.
Get me? And then that goes for all history. I don't want to hear no one here talking about Egyptology, nothing. Yeah, because if you weren't there, you don't go back that far. You can't empathise. You don't know what going on. You can't. All right, cool. All right.
You don't have to go
exactly,
back that
fam.
far.
You can maybe,
bro, maybe petulant now. You don't need to be petulant. You don't need to be going back there. Exactly. We're going back to Egypt for. That's just being petulant, right? You don't need that. If you're, no, it's not the same thing. Hear what I'm saying? If you're here to spread your word, or
I'm not here to spread no word. This was a conversation between me and my brethren, who has now been edged all the way over there. Like,
So
bro,
what?
I don't know what you're doing. I'm not saying that, but you came with the impression that.
I never have my impression.
The first
my mind.
the first.
Tell me what impression I'm having. Yeah? You like to correct me, I'm correcting you now. Right? What's my impression?
So anyway, I
In
didn't
your
mean
opinion, what's my impression?
I didn't mean
in
the
your
word.
opinion.
The people who were there firsthand weren't the only people. They told their story.
I didn't mean the word impression. Still.
Okay, you misspoke then.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What did you mean?
You came here and the first thing you said was, yeah, your speech. So I was like, right, giving a speech. I said, well, I'm not giving a speech.
Yeah.
I'm having a conversation.
Okay.
This draws us back 360 to what I've just now said. But you're saying, yeah, you can preach, so I can't preach. I said, brother, I never come here preaching. I was having a conversation with my brethren. Way before a camera or anyone come in. It was a few people. So the point that you're making about, oh, you can't empathise with me, and bruv, you're just going around the house. You've lost the complete thing of what we're talking about.
You can talk that in language of fools. I'm not a fool, right?
Was it relevant?
Hear what I'm saying. Now, don't ask him.
No, but everyone was here.
No, yeah, but why are you speaking to talk to me?
Because it was a conversation. It's not
2
just.
seconds, right?
I ain't coming just to zero in on you, bruv.
No, I'm not.
It's not
I'm
fruitful
coming
like that
to-
either.
No, context. What you're not doing is.
What's up, bruv? What's up? What is that, bruv? What is it you want to say?
When I say speech, right? If that offended you, I apologise. Yeah.
I wasn't offended.
No, but I don't. But yeah, but
What's there to be offended by that?
I don't know. I'm not in your mind, and I'm not speculating.
Why are you saying offended?
Because
I just corrected you, bro.
Okay, same thing.
Now you got a bee in your bonnet from
No, I don't have a bee in it. I just want to know where
What's
you're
the point
coming
you're
from.
trying to give? What's the
Am I
point
allowed
you're
to
trying
speak? You're going to stop speaking over me.
You're
You're
going
going
to
to stop
speak
speaking
over
over
me.
me.
What's the point you want to give, bro?
You're going to stop speaking over me.
Reason.
Right? No, hold on a minute. I'm asking him.
You're attacking.
There is a point. Right? What I'm trying to you is this, yeah, right? Speak for whatever reason. That was to be in your bonnet, right? It's a colloquialism. You were talking. You understand me? I'm not saying that
conversation,
you're giving no
listen up,
big
kid.
speech. I didn't mean it like that.
Hey,
You
if I
understand
make you finish something, what you
do you
come
understand
back?
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When I say that, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to say that.
But you said you was giving a speech. You said you were giving your speech. So you didn't use it in that context where it'd be a colloquialism. Yeah? You didn't say, oh, man, my speech. Man, my speech. You never said, You said you're giving your speech. In English, so I know exactly.
Oh right,
Come
so
on,
you're
bro.
taking me literally.
No, not
and
literally.
not colloquially.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
That weren't you didn't use it in a colloquial context.
No, in my day, it was a colloquial topic.
You're giving
You're
your speech.
20 years
So
younger than
so
me.
that just meant what, conversation? So when you roll up to people having a conversation, give your speech.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it meant. That's exactly
Back
what
in
it
the days,
meant.
yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Now say nothing.
That's exactly
You
what
learn
it
something
meant.
new every day. I can't comment on that. I weren't there. I don't know other people.
That is my age, and see if I'm wrong, I'm
I
wrong.
hear you still. I hear you.
But Elder, what it is, you are defending
That's what
something.
we was on, bro.
He should have been here.
We
This
was talking about
conversation
labels, in fact,
was too
and the
split,
importance of
So
the
what
label.
I'm saying,
Is the label more
when
important than
you
the
came
object?
in, it was like an attacking vibe.
No,
Because
it
so to
wasn't
what?
that. That's how you
So
took
to
it, but I
what?
hear
But
what
I've
you're
got to be saying
We
this.
was trying to get to this
We was
point, and it
explaining
was getting
about
good.
labels.
Yeah.
Which is
And
Islamic,
how
bro.
labels attach. We get attached to labels.
Yeah.
Sometimes, what it was,
I'm not sure, you know.
what was the difference between the black, being called black, and the nigger?
Yeah.
What made that? So what we was trying to say,
Is man is
as a-
neither
as a-
black nor a nigger.
we wasn't black or a nigger, but I said
Man is
in
man.
the development of your self-knowledge,
Yeah.
you start stripping down certain association with yourself.
Huh?
Remember at one time,
What,
you
don't
used to
like that
call
man's
yourself
not black?
Jamaican. Yeah? At one stage, you used to call yourself Jamaican.
Yeah.
I am part of them, though.
Then in
We're
another
all
stage
people,
of
we're
your
all
development,
Yeah?
you called
And
yourself
some of us
a black
identify
man.
with ones because
And in
we
another
can
stage of your
trace a
development,
certain lineage,
you might call yourself
or we're
an
rare, or
African.
our family come
And
from
in
a certain
another
land,
stage of your
and we've got that
development,
connection.
you
Some
might
of us
just call
share
yourself,
social things.
I'm a
We've
man.
been through certain
Yeah.
things.
Or
Some of
I'm a
us,
spirit.
sometimes it's just about
Or
how
I'm
other
just
people treat us.
conscious.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Other people
That's
treat
what it
us
was.
in
I
a
agree with
thing,
that
so we all
100%.
act the same.
Right?
You get me?
Oh,
But when you
I
get to your home
agree
country,
100%.
you don't want to be
You
different.
understand me? Right?
Because you're not
But
under
see
that
what I'm saying,
persecution.
right? The words that you use is different to the words that was used before.
Yeah,
Right?
of course you
What
can. You
I'm
have to
saying
be.
Is that through I've gone through it,
Yeah.
and you as
That-
well.
you can be part of
that
whatever
word
you want to
black
be.
was used as
Yeah,
an
but-
attack mechanism
Why do I
against
need to be
us.
part of
Yeah,
the
say
label?
if you
What's the
say if
problem?
you use the
What-
word
what-
nigger, yeah?
Hold on.
Or
Yeah,
niggers.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying.
Once
Not
we
saying
reclaimed
I don't
that
use the
word
label.
for
but
ourselves,
we used to talk about the
it didn't
benefits.
hurt.
Like, what for?
Do you know why? We learned to accept it, grew with it. Because
No, but there was an
elder, you know,
Bruv, that
when you
label
was young,
black, yeah,
the first time
actually
they called
isolates
you
more people than
words
you
like
think
nigger.
unites them.
Or Bollywood, yeah?
You think everyone's
They
feeling
hurt
that
you
label
first.
black, yeah? You're Somalian.
Cut
You
you.
can come on, bro.
There's a
You should be
certain
schooling them
age-
on why
sorry,
you're
sorry.
Somalian
There's
people
a
that
certain
call themselves
age
Cushitic,
where you
that
don't
separate themselves from the
appreciate what it
Bantu,
means.
yeah, see
For the
themselves
word
as
young.
not being
No,
black.
listen to me.
Why they
Listen
even
to me. When
identify
you're
with
five,
the
you don't
term
know.
with Arabs even
When you
more.
grow
Some,
up,
some.
and
But then you
you're
need to
like,
speak on that reality.
let's
Then
say
you,
for
in your own country, that black label ain't gonna work. So then why are you talking about, bro?
13.
In your own country, man, you can't call everyone black in your country. So then what you mean about it's unifying people?
Then, because you're doing from a certain...
What, except your country? Is your country
Right,
involved?
because that's what I'm saying. It's the stage of learning. But guess what? You
So,
went
then,
on
so what about your country then?
you went on the forefront.
He
He should have mentioned
These don't know. These don't
back
know.
in the
Come on, bro.
conversation.
It's too simple. It's too simple. It's too simple. He will use it in a context, but not in a reality. Because he can't go to his country and unify his people but with the term black.
He doesn't need to. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he does. Because his people are disunifying. He don't need to unify his people in Somalia.
Not with the diaspora. He can unify in Somalia without using the word black. That's what he's saying to you.
How are they gonna identify with each other on a level?
What I'm
of
saying
size?
is, yeah, if every black person in England labelled themselves king, and we
Yo,
went
my
to
brother.
China,
Anyway,
we get
man.
king,
Is that man
will we
not?
get
Is that
king
man not
anyway?
hear me, bro?
No, but
Is that man not hear me? Is that man's ears block off?
then what's the
Bro,
point in this label?
I'm not anti-black, you know. I'm not anti-Somalian. I'm not anti-none of this.
They
Get me? But the label is not going to give you value, bro. You're going to give you value. What you see yourself as, who you are, gives you value. Yeah? We're gonna go in the room and say, yeah, we are the Black Four. And one man saying, nah, fam, I'm done with this thing, but nah, I'm Somalian. And get me? But yeah, we're all brothers and that. But I don't want that label black. Where did that come from? Can we be the African Four? And then you're like, nah, I'm from St. Lucia. I'm not feeling the African Four. I want to rep for my people. Oh, come on, man. Why can't we just be the Four? And do the works. Like, look how much time it's.
But what's
look how
four
much
though?
time
What's
it spends
four though?
About the huh?
What's four though? I thought you'd be five.
5, let them come.
Now what I'm saying
We
is,
change when they come.
the point I'm making is,
We can move to 5. We don't have to be 4.
but the point I'm making is, who says 4 is 4?
We don't have to be 4. Let's
but
just
hear
do the
what I'm
works.
saying. No, but hear what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let's just do the works.
But you said the 4, innit? So what I'm saying is, who says 4? Because 4 is a word, innit?
Yeah,
Just
it
like
could be
black,
cat.
yeah?
It could be cat. It could be
be
whatever.
anything.
We say, who are you guys? And we say, take it what you want. Or we say,
Fantastic Four.
But this is the
we
point,
are
but
who
that's-
we are. We
Alright.
don't need the label of 4,
What's
so we
your
can
name?
throw
What's
that
your
in the bin.
What's your name? Yeah.
What we call ourselves does not matter. What we do does.
Alright. I'm assuming that you wasn't born with the name, your parents never gave you the name Jedi, yeah?
Why are you assuming that?
I'm assuming. It's
Why?
an assumption. It's an assumption. I could be wrong in it.
Ask the question.
No, am I
Go
wrong?
on,
though?
go for your thing.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong.
I'm wrong, yeah?
Yeah.
So your parents name you Jedi?
Yeah.
Why did they name you Jedi?
You have to ask them.
You don't know.
You'd have to ask them, bro.
Why they name you Jedi?
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on, just ask.
But I'm saying-
You're asking about a third party and their
No.
intentions.
I'm asking, innit?
You
I'm
gotta
asking.
ask them.
I'm asking.
I just tell you the name
It's
that
a
they
question.
gave me, innit?
Fine.
Or the name that I present to you. That's what
This is what I'm trying to say.
That's the most I can give you.
This is what I'm trying
But
to
the
say.
label matters not. Because
It
you
don't matter.
can call me Jerry.
Why use
That's
it
cool.
then?
You can call me X.
But
Why use it?
all right, no. Hold on.
You use it more than
No,
me.
I do, but
When you
why-
first used it.
No, but
It's
my
no time, we
Jedi,
just been
Jedi,
chatting.
Jedi,
I ain't used it.
Jedi.
You're a snake.
You're
Jedi.
using it.
Oh, no.
Why
Wait.
you
Hold
Why
on.
do you
It's a
use
question.
Jedi?
It's a question. No, I could.
You used it,
I could.
bro.
If I ask you your name,
You used it.
If I ask you your name,
Yeah.
and you tell me Jedi,
I could tell you something else.
right? You could.
I could.
But if you tell me Jedi,
Ask me my name.
yeah.
Ask me my name.
No, he's real.
No, I'm
Ask me my name, bro.
No, it doesn't matter,
Bro,
No,
do you know how many
that don't
times
matter.
I've been asked my name and I've not given my name?
That's fine.
So-
but I'm saying it was an if, you know. I said if I ask
There's
you your
a
name,
value in not giving
Bro,
Yeah.
whatever
or giving the
I'm
wrong
just
name.
giving you whatever you want, fam.
no,
it
it's
means
not about.
it's meaningless.
But it's not about what I want, you know.
Yeah.
I'm saying if
you
I
want to
if
identify
I
me.
ask you your name,
You ask me my name to
yeah,
identify me.
identify
So I
you.
can give you whatever you want,
Fine.
anything.
Fine.
Yeah?
No,
To
fine.
make you happy. You already
But you
identified
could.
me by looking at me.
But you could.
If you see me again, you're like, right, it's my man.
Value in the words we actually use.
But you could.
as opposed to the words we don't.
But if you give me a name,
The label, the label will mislead you, bro. Deal with the object.
Why?
Deal with the object.
Partially down.
Deal with the object, bro. The
Why?
label will mislead you.
Why?
What do you mean?
So that-
Alright, you know what? Drink this, KA.
But
Drink it.
No, it's a good
And
point.
you're gonna drink it,
But it's not.
it says KA. You
No,
buy it in the shop,
necessarily.
you drink it.
Not necessarily. It's a good point. Sorry,
You drink it,
sorry, sorry,
and it's poison, isn't it? Because I swapped the
But
label.
it's true.
The label can
But it's true.
mislead
But
you. Don't pay attention to the label.
But how do I
pay
know it's
attention to
poison?
the object.
But how do I know
bro.
it's poison? How do I know it's poison?
That's up to you, bro.
We can,
That's up to you.
No, I
the
can-
label is there giving you information.
Exactly.
And you want that
And the information-
But it doesn't have to be true.
And the information
Don't
says
have to be true.
water,
Otherwise,
grape juice,
pick up
cut
any
from
book you want
concentrate,
and just-
sugar and fructose and them thing there, yeah. And so, but based upon those things, if I know what sugar is, I know what fructose is, yeah. I can hear.
But that's not the point.
I can know that. No, but
Bro,
the point
is, what's in there
Yeah.
could not be what it says on the.
But I would know it. But I would know it by the name that people call it in it. So if it's not, if somebody could be, well, I know it's poison by tasting it.
Well, you know that it's not what you thought it was by tasting.
But I would need to know. That don't even make no sense. Like, no, wait, so you know what it makes sense, yeah? Because we all use language, bro.
I'm saying if I have a Lucas
But we all use language.
orange juice in there, you won't know if it's Lucas or orange juice.
Do you know what it is, yeah? 'Cause I wasn't even gonna get this, but you know what it is, yeah? You see, language, yeah? Every language has nouns in it. All we're arguing over right now is nouns in it, yeah? And they are important because we're communicating. Yeah, so communication to identify.
They're important to program your brain. Yeah, to see the
Why
world
is
in
it-
a certain way.
but why is
That's
it-
all it is.
but why is
That's
it-
all It's-
but
it's-
every
it's-
culture
yeah,
has
that's
a
what it
language.
is.
But every culture has a
I'm not
language,
saying it. I'm not
But
saying
you know, you said something
Let me
right
finish
though.
the point.
Go.
But yeah.
Bro.
And as I said,
labels
Yeah.
are not as important as the object.
But I didn't
The
say
name,
that-
this
that- I
is
never
all
said
we're
that.
dealing with,
I never
yeah?
said that.
This word, this noun that you're talking, let me finish. This noun and whatever we're talking about, yeah, is just a label for an object that already exists, fam. Without the label. You know what they say, yeah? In a rainforest somewhere, a butterfly is fluttering with the most beautiful colours. But does it know it's beautiful if we don't tell it? It's just doing its thing, fam. It don't care if I'm about this, yeah? I'm a man, innit? I'm a being, I'm alive. Whether you call me black, Asian, Moor, blah, 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 African, Asian, original man, blah, blah, you can call me whatever you want. Yeah? It's not going to change, it shouldn't change who I am, but with the psychology, with the hypnosis that we have right now, labels are what they're controlling us with. So what you need to say is, I can detach from the labels and find my identity from self, yeah? And that you don't need no words for that. That's where you get back to real spirituality.
All right.
I'm telling you about labels.
Jedi. All due respect, yeah. You said man, being,
Yeah.
and self, yeah.
Yeah.
These are all labels, you know,
Yeah.
Maji. Yeah.
And I can do without them.
They're not.
We can dash them.
But
Let's
that's
not use
fine.
them again.
That's fine. No, but that's the,
Then we're on the same level. Let's not use them.
No, but here I'm saying, no, but the point, it's language, innit? Yeah. I'm saying all people, especially now. This is my thing, innit? Right? You see, when you're coming from a certain condition into another condition, where somebody has labelled you, yeah, and they've labelled you as a collective, yeah. Self-definition is one of the most important things that you can do. Yeah. Now we may decide what the self-definition is, yeah, or what the word is, or but I can't say that the definition is not important because all people,
that tarnishes all that people.
No, but it's not even about.
That's why black people are treated so
It's not even because that don't work for everybody. That don't work for everybody. Because look at if that was the case here. One person doing something from any particular group of people would tarnish them. That's not how it works. But that's not how it works. But that's not no.
Through labels, through the label of Islam and
No, it's
Muslim.
not. But
If you just believe what you believe,
it doesn't. No, fam. Because you said, fam.
labels right now,
I was listening carefully now. A while ago, yeah.
labels are being weaponized.
while ago,
Yeah, and they're psychological.
psychological weapons.
And right about now, all I'm saying is just recognize that fact. fam. I need you to,
but that's
on some
fine.
level, recognize that.
But
Because if your identity is too entwined with this word, and you're just gonna battle.
No, but you know what? I'm not fighting.
Like I'm saying,
I'm not campaigning for the word
all
black.
I'm saying is we don't need the word black, we don't need the word African, we don't need them words.
But-
All you need to do is know who you are, yeah, and have an understanding of who you are as a being. That's a life, yeah. That's all you need to survive. Yeah, you could have been brought up and taught you was German for the whole of your life, think that you're German, and you know what, man, I laugh on that, but we know that the original people in Germany were black.
Yeah.
But on this side of the paradigm, we got to play this game about labels, bruv. And then man, I go back and tell you about Pangea. So if we all come from one continent, if this is what people truly believe, which is another belief system, if this is what you lot believe, then why does it even matter, fam?
Do you know why?
I understand
Do you know
the
why?
labels that they use to control me are not ones that I use to actually identify myself. I use them to cut through this world, yeah? Just to cut through and deal with the nastiness.
So what do you identify as?
Me.
Okay, but
Who are you? Me. I could give you a
It's
label.
language, but
check this.
What I'm
check
saying is
this.
it's language,
I
you know,
could give
Maji.
you
People self-define.
a label, yeah?
It's words, it's nouns.
I could give you a label.
But those words are powerful.
I could give you a label. It doesn't necessarily
It's words of
identify
war.
me.
It's words
You
of
understand?
aggression. That's war.
My name is John.
Fam, you know what
yeah?
it is?
What's your name? What's your
My
name?
is Maya.
What's your name? So now we know each other's names. Yeah?
But how do you get to know
Now we know each other's
But
names.
that's-
Or do we?
If you ask-
what does it matter? I tell you,
You know why it matters?
For
Do
the
you know why
next
it
50
matters?
years,
Do you know why
for
it
the next
matters?
50 years,
It doesn't
for the
matter.
next 50 years, you're gonna believe that my name is John. Yeah? And that just makes you happy to identify me. It has nothing to do with the truth. It has nothing to do with
But
who
you know,
I am.
alright, but
You understand?
But what you're giving, yeah?
That's nothing to do, bro.
No, on a level,
It's just a
on a level,
word.
Jedi. What you're giving, yeah?
Separate language from life, bruv.
On a level,
Separate language from life.
what you're giving.
It don't have to be a tree. It could be called whatever you want.
Identified
Does
as
it?
a tree.
Does it do its function? Does it? Everyone don't call it a tree. People in other languages. If you go somewhere and say, yeah,
But
have you seen
people
the
in
big
other
tree?
languages
1 second.
have a word
if
for
you
it.
go somewhere
Yeah,
and
but
say to someone,
they
1
still-
second, 1 second,
Yeah,
1 second. The word
That could
tree.
be a tree, why
Listen,
tree?
listen. TREE. Yeah. The word tree. Listen, fam.
I'm listening.
This object here, you want to say, that's a tree, and that's a fact of reality. But when you go to another country and say, have you seen the big tree? They say, because they don't know what you're talking about. They have another word for it, meaning the word doesn't matter.
It does matter. You know why it matters? You know why it matters?
These objects still exist. These objects still exist. Whether you want to label
but you know why it matters?
you could say we're not
but you know why it matters? But you know why it matters? Because I could say to a
it's
man,
not a tree.
I could say to a man, no,
using the word to
I could say to a man, what do you call it in your language, innit? Right? So what I understand, what I might call a tree in English, you call it whatever in your language. We understand the concept of what we're talking about. We have different words for it. Yeah. So it doesn't.
Sometimes labels actually mislead you from what the thing actually is. Come on, fam.
But that's two different arguments, you know.
It's all the same thing.
You know it's not. You know why? Do you know why?
It's not a tree. You just want to call it a tree.
That's fine.
No,
I don't want to call it.
You're not a man.
I don't want to call it a
black.
tree.
They just want to call you black to label you. You're something greater than just being black. Black of what? What do you mean black? So I'm saying you can detach from any label that you want to, especially if it's being used to play chess with you and play with your emotions. Oh, he said nigga. I'm going to throw away my liberty because a man used the word. Yeah. Oh my God, he said fuck. I can't listen to this. And so much sense has been spoken here. You're going to go and sit in front of the news and get indoctrinated by some guy because you've been taught that this is the... Bruv, it's all control systems, bruv. It's all the labeling thing is control system. So now there is no difference between a black man and a nigger because neither of them exist.
Labeling is only
neither of them exist. They're all constructs that you have to accept.
Labeling is only control if you're labeled by your oppressors. If you define yourself, it's not control.
You are. That's why man are calling themselves black. Not now because of newfound knowledge. Oh yeah, we found out that in this country the black means this and they call it the black lands. No, that's not why everyone was getting called black, bruv. Yeah?
We're called black because we speak English.
Yeah? End of story.
The elect chose to be called the white race, which gave other people...
But it's because we're speaking English.
You feel like it's all spell casting.
Who created the English language?
And man don't want to understand it.
Exactly. The English language comes out of various different languages. Yeah? And the people who have inhabited this particular land developed a culture out of which the English language comes. Language is only an expression of a people's culture.
They found a word for pale, they found a word for faded, they found a word for something that is washed out, and somehow down the line we've taken that word and now we're calling ourselves black.
But it don't have to
when the original meaning is actually pale and white.
It don't have to be black.
So what one? Why, it don't have to, so we don't need the word.
Man ain't campaigning for the word black, you know. If you notice that, man ain't campaigning for the word black, you know. Man ain't doing that, you know.
Go and find the etymology of the word black. This is why I say it's all spellcasting.
Yeah, but how we do that, you know. I'm not campaigning for the word black, you know. That's not my argument, you know, man. I'm not doing that, you know, fam. You get me?
They can do what they want. It's the effectiveness of the label. Don't you understand, fam? A man said, don't only refer to me as it or them. Yeah, you can't even call me he or she. Bruv, none of that affects what that guy or that being is anatomically. Or naturally. It don't matter. Labels are labels.
No, but it's like a man could say, yeah, I'm myself, innit? Even the concept of the self requires definition, Maggie. Nobody, that's what I'm saying. So when a man says, I'm myself,
they could do.
In different cultures, the self has different meanings. What it means to be a self, it means different things to different people. So man can't just say man's myself and everyone's gonna understand that. We have to. This is what I'm trying to say. So for you to say I and many of the I's might understand what the I is saying. But if a man don't understand I, no one don't know what man is saying.
What's a man? A man in the Amazon.
Hear what I'm saying?
A lost tribe in the Amazon. When he sees me, what's he gonna think? Lost tribe in the Amazon. Then Papua New Guinea, then pygmies in Papua New Guinea, like you know, deep in the jungle. When they see me, what are they gonna think? What's in their head? What's their description? What? They're just gonna see what?
It depends, innit?
Exactly.
It depends on what their language is.
Exactly. Because I am what I am. You can't label me that in reality.
If a man says I'm myself,
it don't make me that thing.
In your culture, the self is one thing. In my culture, the self is the next thing, you know. If I say I'm myself, we've got two different ideas. This is the point I'm trying to make. So what we call ourselves.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? You can only speak the truth. It don't matter what my brother sees himself as or what I think of what he sees himself. That don't matter. That don't determine my love for him.
It does matter, though.
You get me?
It does matter.
Why?
It does matter. You know why it matters? No, it matters. You know why it matters? No, I do. You know why? You know why? Because in my concept of the self, yeah, because I have an African understanding, yeah, my concept of the self is collective, innit? Yeah, so I can't look at our next brother who I consider my brother, and it don't matter what he thinks about me. That's what I'm saying. He might be wrong.
I don't mean what I think
I'm saying.
about him.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying is,
no, what I'm saying.
a man might be wrong, you know.
I'm talking about the oppressor labeling.
So
That's a different thing.
You said you got an African mindset.
I talk for myself, you know. I talk for myself.
Yeah?
I talk for myself.
You got an African mindset.
African-centered.
Africans, so I mean, based on the continent or a specific place, the continent,
No.
Madagascar, like the continent. What are we talking about when you say African centered?
Cool. We can. That's a good question.
No, like,
that's a good question. So the African-centered ideal, yeah, suggests that there are commonalities, yeah, in the cultures of the continent. One of them is a collective sense of self. Yeah. So if you go through, yeah, people identify themselves communally, yeah, familially, yeah, with each other and them kind of things there. And I'm saying that when it comes to, if we're talking about building a community, building a nation, we don't do that without having a shared identity in it. And when people have a shared identity, they tend to develop a name for it. That's just all it is. Yeah, it's not a strange thing, my G. Even so, when I say the concept of the self, that requires a man can't just say I'm myself. Why can't I just be myself? But in this culture, the European culture, the self is the individual. Yeah? In another culture, the self is I am because we are.
So what self was I talking about then?
The point, I don't know, I never asked. What I'm saying is, the concept of the self is not universal.
Exactly,
That's
but
all it is.
But neither is the concept of Africa. Neither is the concept of... No, but
I didn't say it is, but we could go into that if you want, you know. We could go into that if you want.
Bro, what I'm saying is, you got your individual thing, fam, yeah?
No, it's not an individual thing.
You just said it was.
No, I said I spoke for myself, it's not my individual
So
thing.
you're speaking for yourself, it's your individual thing?
Yeah.
It's your individual thing. If you said the African-centered mentality, and you said that's your individual thing, it's not something that goes for all people from Africa.
I didn't say that.
No, exactly, so it's your individual thing. Your individual ideology or doctrine or way of thought process.
No, there's two things there, yeah? The first thing is, if you go to different places, like, for example, we live in England here, and the identity that dominates here is British, yeah? It don't mean that all British people act the same, but you can find commonalities among them that will identify British culture. Yes, whether you go to Scotland, whether you go to England, whether you go to Ireland, whether you go to Wales, that's what happens, yeah? And I'm saying that if you were to look at cultures, indigenous cultures, not colonized cultures, indigenous cultures across the continent where we come from, you will find commonalities. Yeah? Individualism is not a feature of most indigenous cultures, none that I know of on the planet Earth. It's not a feature. So I'm saying you can look at that, and if I see that as something that's common to Africa and African cultures, I can say African-centered and call it that.
Yeah, so it's mislabeling, but I hear what you're saying.
Explain it to me though. Why is it mislabeling?
Because you just said that you're looking at a few indigenous...
I didn't say a few.
Yeah, but
I didn't say a few.
So you're looking at every single indigenous culture in Africa from history that has not been colonized. Is that what you're telling me? And they all had one.
No, it's impossible.
Or just the ones you've come up with. Some a few, then, innit?
It's impossible to say
in the amount of culture in Africa from
it's
that.
Possible to say every single.
Exactly, a few.
But
you can't say all. You can't say most.
But I didn't. No.
So it's a few. Why don't stick me on that word, bruv? It's not my point.
No, I didn't stick you on the word, you know. You're taking me on the word right now with a few things. Yeah, I'm saying you can look at commonalities in cultures.
Yeah.
You can do that. It's possible to do that.
Worldwide. Worldwide. There's worldwide commonalities in cultures. Worldwide.
No, but I did say, if you look at most indigenous
worldwide, not just on that continent.
I think one way where I say the label is important is it would have been impossible for gang to mobilise.
If man didn't have gang.
If we didn't point in the fact that there's problems in the black community.
Right.
It wasn't problems in every community. We had to go straight
but beyond
into
that,
the blackness.
why did you call it gang? Why did you call it? I identified. I've been places in that, and I've talked. This is the first time I come in there, you know. I've been places and I've told people about gang. People know how to find gang because I've said gang. Guiding the new generation. That's how it goes, man. You see what I'm saying?
A label.
Yeah, but it means something though. Because you gave it that name for a reason.
I beg you, let me chat.
That's their business. But for me, I'm teaching my people them. I can say gang. Guiding the new generation.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
You don't have to give it a label or nothing. This energy would exist without the label, and this is what I'm saying. The label, the label needs the object. The object don't need the label, bro. The label, the object.
That's not in the
So that's all I'm saying from here. Yeah. So and that's what but you know that's what the conversation. One second. You know that's what the conversation was about. It was about the necessity for the label. That's what. So we can get into Pan-Africanism. That ain't what I was getting into.
The label don't matter.
You put that in.
No, I was debating the idea that the label don't matter.
Yeah, the label don't matter.
That's what I heard.
The label don't matter.
So what you just said.
The label don't matter.
No, but it would have been impossible for us to mobilise without recognising the label of what black people are going through. Because that was the core of the reality. Even we were saying run for us, by us, like the core, even man used to chant, rise up, ye mighty people, accomplish what you will. So that people runs back to what people. So we're going to have to find a label to identify these people that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
This is language,
so I personally think it would be impossible for me to do the last 8 years of work in the black community without using the label black or African or something that people are going to understand what I'm talking about.
And it might involve
and I like that, but I just don't feel that you did need to use that label. Because he could have been using African the whole time. He could never use the word black and he could have used African.
You can be black and not African.
Exactly. You can be African and not black. This is the thing, because what is black? But what I'm saying to you is, you could have used either one or neither of them and used something else. You understand what I'm saying? You could have used whatever. You could have used Negro.
All right, so
yeah, you could have used original man. No, bro. What I'm saying is, you could have used anything, fam. Yeah, you still would have been doing and moving what you was moving. It depends on whatever people want to identify with, which I already told you has been superimposed onto man. Yeah. So I'm saying, regardless of that, not every, but the ones we're using, definitely, and the reasons we're using it, definitely, and we're using it because it is the popular terminology, and that's why we're using it. Yeah, it's popular language, bro.
Let's be specific. Are you saying African and black was imposed onto man?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Black was imposed by who and when?
Through language.
Where did everyone decide that they were black? Where did this come from?
I can give you one example.
Because man weren't growing up.
And African, give me African. When was African imposed on man?
Man weren't growing up. Fam, all right.
If it was imposed, it matters who imposed it.
All right, hear what I'm saying. Did everybody in Africa put up their hand and do a vote? Was there this African vote and said we're going to be called Africans? No. But then shush then, bruv, man. It's my China, bruv. It's a label, bruv. They're not like everyone's agreed to be African. They ain't, bruv. Some people are just people, and they still African because you label them African. That's how you see them. They see themselves as people. I'm saying anyone that's pushing that though.
For example, the politics of like His Imperial Majesty, he had an organisation called Organisation of African Unity. Now, if you didn't have the Organisation of African Unity, then it's hard to find out how to mobilise.
I'm not saying that indoctrination ain't. I'm not saying that. One second. I'm not. But man, them understand the labels that are. One second. Man, them understand the labels that are being used against them, so they will choose to identify because they know it's for that purpose. I'm saying that they could exist without it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that man don't say, oh yeah, boom, man, I take this title. I'm just all the argument was, bro. I promise you, because you've just come. All the argument is whether we need the labels, and we don't need the labels.
I personally believe.
The labels need us.
I personally believe that it would have been impossible for man to put out a message.
Where are the labels unifying?
Without the labels. The labels unifying. So
a small section of people.
I don't understand how
does it not divide as well? Does it not divide with the people that don't fit under that label?
Easy.
No, the debate was about black, African, and nigger and these things.
No. The man was trying to put man in this paradigm of choose between a black man and a nigger, and I said neither of them exist. I'm me.
But I'm saying
I am a man.
But let's be specific.
Neither of them exist.
But man is a label, my G. And enough man out here talking about. Enough man out here.
Man is a label.
Talking about man don't even mean nothing no more. Yeah, man's gender neutral.
It is a label. But truth is truth.
You know that's real, fam. Man saying that man don't mean.
So once we get past the man thing, once we get past that, we just say, you know what? You can call yourself whatever you want. I know what you are.
But
from my understanding. I lie. You can call yourself man, woman, girl, boy, whatever.
If it's nigger, African and black, let's get specific on the
They're not the
thing,
same.
Maggie.
They're not the same things.
I personally think
They're not the same thing.
I feel like this argument's a bit of semantics.
It's not semantics,
I
bro.
feel like if we take away the labels, I feel like even someone
It
who
is,
has
yeah.
that argument
Doesn't mean that thing has to. Doesn't mean that. But it doesn't mean that it has to exist.
That's
It
a
doesn't
camera.
mean
That's a camera right there.
I feel like it's semantics.
it's up to you. That's for your convenience. It is not necessary for any other purpose. You get me? Because it's what you've
Well, I'm
learned
trying
in
to get
language.
specific, you know. I'm trying to get specific now, innit? Let's agree that we don't need the label could be anything, yeah. You could have the concept of the people without the name of the people. Let's agree that the concept of the people comes before the naming of the people. We can agree that, yeah. Hold on. No, I'm saying me and Jedi and many of the men that was conversing about this have agreed with this thing, yeah. That the concept of the people exists before the labeling or the naming of the people. We can agree that, yeah. So the subject is African, black, nigger, and whether these things were imposed on us by our oppressor or not. And I'm saying we got to substantiate these things.
Well, we got to substantiate that everyone agreed to be called black, African, or nigger. And no one did. So there's pockets of people. That's how you know.
My thing is history.
But someone's going to say you're black, regardless of what you call yourself.
But we can look at it, though, Jedi.
Hear this. Someone is going to say, whatever you're saying, bro, you're black. Yeah? And so that means that it's regardless of how you feel or view about yourself, their view of you is going to. And that's
fine.
not incorrect.
But I'm going to say, no, but people don't.
That's incorrect.
History.
Get me?
That's what I'm
That's
You have to
incorrect.
look at the history, yeah.
That's incorrect, fam.
If you look at the history of
Man
people
can't
who have
label
worked
you.
for the bro, fire. If you look at the history of people who have worked for the advancements of black people or African people, they've used the label. So what I'm saying is, if you take away that label from those people, yeah,
Would the work still be there?
Who has it? Well, I mean, all I want to know is name people that have managed to advance African people without using the label.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
What I'm saying,
so when you get rid of it,
it's just a tool, isn't it?
You can't.
It's a tool.
Do it.
It's not a necessity. You can do it. Hold on 1 second.
Man said it, you know.
So, bro,
Man said it's a tool.
But does man need the tool?
Yes,
It's language. It's language.
Yeah, a tool is useful. When you can make
Language is a tool.
I know, hear it.
Language is a tool. Go on.
You can use that tool, but you can also use another tool. Yeah, the task can be. 1 second.
Go on.
The task can be done regardless of the tool. As long as you use a
Language is a tool, yeah?
It can be done.
Alright, so give me a tool. Jedi, give me a tool that replaces language. Give me a tool that replaces language. Because you can replace one language with another language. But give me a tool that replaces language.
Alright, fam. When you're talking to Africans, yeah? When we're talking about Africans, are we talking to them in a universal African language?
In a universal African language. Not today, but alright. You said a while ago that your mum's Igbo, yeah?
Bro, forget my mum. Forget my mum.
So don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
We're not talking to Africans in a universal African language.
Do we have to?
Why?
Do we have to?
If we're going to speak for them, we're going to speak for them.
No, but who's them? If I'm
Those who are
who's them?
I got one question.
from the continent.
Alright, let me wait, one sec, yeah?
from the continent.
Alright, let's look at this thing. People from the continent.
Yeah.
Yeah? This is what I'm trying to say. People from the continent.
Yeah.
Right. Most of the borders today in the continent were drawn up by some Europeans. Yeah?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Before that time, a lot of the miniature, what they call tribes, in Africa, were formulated out of bigger tribes. After constant invasion, people began to fragment. Right? So if I talk about language,
So you believe at one time
it's not
everyone
a
on that
belief.
continent?
It's not a belief.
Okay.
No, before you preempt me.
Was there a time that people?
Before you preempt me.
Come on, fam. Let's do this punchy. Do it punchy, bro.
Before you preempt me, yeah? What I'm trying to say is, that if we're going to talk about language today and them kind of things there, all things have a history in it. So I'm saying, when you look at, there's a linguist by the name of
What existed first, man or language?
Of course, like,
Can language exist
But
without
what is
man?
man?
Can language exist without
But
man?
what is man?
Can language exist without
What
man?
is man?
Can man exist without language?
Apes have language.
But what is
Man can exist.
But so the dogs.
Okay.
So they don't know like each other.
No, hold on. But man can exist without language.
They're living in their
But
reality, so we
existence-
can't really
But what is
superimpose that.
existence? No, but it's a point.
Jedi,
We can't really.
I got a question.
No. 1 second. I was making a
It's
point.
language, my G.
I was making. We're agreeing. It's just language.
It's
But what
language.
we're saying is,
If you can't hear, you got sign language.
what we're saying
so you
is,
can communicate.
bro, it's language. Listen, we're talking about
Communication.
black
It's not even language, it's communication.
Listen.
Humans cannot.
Listen.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not actually listening.
Fam, man's listening clearly,
You're not.
fam.
Fam.
You know I was here for hours
African-
and I didn't speak, you know. You know that, innit? You know that, innit?
African, black, and nigger.
Yeah. That's what
I'm
we're
saying
going. That's what I'm trying to get to.
this is what we're on.
Yeah.
The people on the continent
Yes.
do not even have a consensus for that word. They don't. So, what language are we speaking to them in order for us to say that they've accepted it? You are labeling people with that term due to your upbringing, your belief, and what you see and what you've gone through. Yeah. So when we talk about the African culture, you can't even label them.
You can't say that, Maggie. You can't say that.
Any continent in Africa,
you can't say
I'm
that.
sure you'll find people. You'll find people in every continent of Africa, in every country in Africa that are Pan-African that identify with the same mentality that you're talking about.
What do you mean Pan-African? As in, I'm down for one Africa.
100%.
No, I'm saying I've met people from all over the continent
that identify with black and African. So that's a fact, yeah? But what I'm saying is, my question to you is...
Not the people all around the continent don't all do. Individuals can do, yeah.
Individuals everywhere.
But they don't all accept
Let's say
it.
individuals.
They don't all accept that label.
No, but the majority of the collectives will accept
we can't say the
black or
majority.
African.
We can't say the majority of collective.
So what country...
They don't all accept it. You know what I mean? Some accept it, some say no, I'm my tribe, I'm my area. We know this already,
Yeah,
fam.
but what I'm saying
Now in Africa, and this is the thing, on that continent, yeah, if you want to force your view that, they all do think that they want. They don't, bro. They don't.
Now you're imposing your...
I'm telling you, some people have got grandmas and great-grandparents that don't use the word African, don't use the word African. That's not even in their language. Don't you understand what I'm saying to you? You're talking like Africa's got a universal language.
I never said that.
It's just a label, bro. Africa is just a label, but the people
that.
exist without the label. Some people that live in Africa, that you consider African, don't use that word.
Us being in the UK,
because it's not in their language. And they ain't learned the language you're communicating.
1 minute, how would we mobilise the black community or the African community without the label? That's my question to you.
Bro, you're talking about the African community. I'm saying there's bare people.
Black community.
The black community.
What I'm saying is, how would you mobilise this group of people?
You just mobilise the people that
Forget
you
the
want to
label.
speak to.
Forget the label.
You mobilise who you want to speak to.
But
you can use any label. You just
you mobilise them then.
What do you mean mobilise?
What I'm saying
what do you mean by mobilise?
Okay, if I go out and I say, if I go out and I say black people
on the road.
This is happening to black
Stuff
people.
from your community.
Then black
Stuff
people,
from your community,
black people,
word of mouth.
No, it's not
anyone
word
that's affected, anyone that feels that way.
so
you can say black people, and someone's gonna walk on because they don't fall under my category. But actually,
that's rare, bro. That's rare.
It ain't rare
in this country, definitely.
rare,
You're probably one of the only people I know that doesn't consider themselves black.
Don't matter, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I know you too, and you're black like black.
But see, you don't consider yourself as black, but you're black as black.
No, I'm saying you're black. You're dark skin.
What do you mean?
You're black. As far as everyone else.
So why are you not calling me dark skin? Why you call me black?
Because that's
because dark is the label, Maggie, and even when the label dark skin, you still be dark skin.
That's what you just done, though. You just trying to define me by, oh, you're black.
No,
fam. I'm me.
No, fam.
I'm me.
No,
yeah?
I'm
me. I am me. And I'm still, one second, and I'm still here on what you're on,
Jedi.
and I don't need to know
Jedi.
that. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. Yeah,
you're still
that you don't need to be black
Jedi.
or consider yourself to be black or use the word black to be mobilized, fam.
But you're still talking about people imposing, fam. We're talking about self-definition right now.
Exactly.
The conversation about self-definition.
You're defining Africans as Africans.
No, I'm not. You're saying me like I come up with a thing, you know, fam. This is the idea that I inherit, my G. It's not me that define it, bro.
Other. You know, you're never forced to describe it. You know that. So if you want to tick their boxes, they give you the boxes. Oh, describe yourself. You can. You don't have to. And does that stop me being me? Come on, fam, think about it. It's just a label.
But who is me?
Me.
And who is I? No, for real.
The one talking.
That's how it gets, you know,
the one talking.
That's how it gets.
The one talking.
That's how it gets.
The one talking.
But who is the one?
Me.
This is the point. No, but this is the point I'm trying to make it. If you ask me my name, you know, I'll tell you Shaka. Yeah. My parents never named me Shaka, you know. My parents named me Tafadzwa. Yeah. Nyasha Payam Bandaka. Neither, yeah, is more worthy than the other, you know. But even my parents said they call me Shakara.
So where does that
right, now this is the point I'm trying to make. Why did they call me Tafazwa? It has a meaning. My name ain't just a name. It has a meaning. Tafazwa is a Shona word. It means we are pleased. So it's a signifier in the fact that
what's African meaning? African. What's the meaning of African?
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah?
I'm going to ask you a question.
And then we say,
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question.
And then we say, has the entire African, the entire people on that continent agreed to that?
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question.
I'm going to ask you a question. It's just how you describe it.
The entire black population hasn't agreed. The entire black population.
We could have been calling it a dog the whole time.
The entire black population. But did the dog?
This is the nature of
wait. Let me ask you a question.
This is why creatures are
Let me ask this question first. Alright? Who decided that we're African?
I don't know. No one.
Right? Hold on.
No one. A few
But,
people.
but that's
not
not
everyone.
the case. But that's not the case.
Not everyone.
But if you can't say, Jedi, if you can't say, allow
Not
me to say
everyone.
it. And if you can't say, allow me to say it. All right? Now, the idea of people identifying, as a certain thing, because you use the thing about Igbo before, People that are born Igbo, did they decide to be called Igbo?
They told they were.
Right?
And like
No,
I said,
they were born.
you can throw that under
they
the
were
bus.
born.
If you find out that you're not Igbo
you can decide
and your tribe is actually Tesco,
you can decide
or your tribe is Audi,
Fine.
so it
Fine.
don't mean that they are not who they are, fam. It's just a label.
Fine. Whatever. That's not even the point. You asked me a question. Who decided that we're African, innit? Yeah? What matters is the intentionality behind the thing, because some have oppressive intentions and some have liberating intentions. That is the real question, you know.
That means
so
you've
the
been
question
labelled.
is,
You've been labelled.
no, wait, hold on,
No.
no.
Have you been labelled?
No.
You don't even define who you are. Someone gave you that. Someone giving us that
I didn't allow me to answer the
and
question.
everyone on that continent.
I'm trying to answer the question, you know. I'm trying to answer the question.
Answer.
I'm trying to answer the question.
It's just a label, bro.
I'm trying to answer, but you're answering the question. You can't.
It's just a label, bro.
I'm trying to answer the question, you know. I'm trying to answer the question.
It's just a
I'm trying to answer the
label,
question.
Don't you think you're being
Ask the question.
pragmatic?
It's just a label. What do you want? You want it to be more than a label? We could have been called Swedish the whole time.
No, but that's the point.
We weren't.
No, you
Where
can't.
did we get that name
No, you
from?
can't.
When
No, you
Raspect was
can't.
asking what's more useful?
But you can't.
you were
No,
like,
it's
we
not
could
just a
choose
label.
another label.
You could use anything
No,
you wanted.
words have meanings.
You could use anything
Words
They do.
have meanings.
They do.
So, if
Wait. Words
have meanings.
Okay, in what language?
Every language.
Okay, that's not true.
That words don't have meanings in every language.
Not the same meaning.
In English, words have definitions. English has definitions.
That's why they say
You know what I'm saying?
I said meanings, you know.
So the problem is plain and simple, yeah?
Not the meaning
It's
of the
language. You get what I'm
Name me a
saying?
language in which the words don't have meanings, Majid. No, for real.
Your names. Hold on, wait. But the problem is, and the unifying thing about African languages, is that every word has a meaning. That's why hence your name. You understand?
That's why.
So it's different from the
I said
language.
it was words
Hold
have
on.
meanings.
It's different from the language of the your oppressor.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying.
Remember,
I
hold on,
agree.
wait, and it's a baby language.
But I agree.
In the language.
But
book.
I agree.
Wait. But if you define things by that language, it only exists as from the age of when the language was created. Now we are way older than that.
I agree.
You understand? So ours is based on something else. It's based on.
But you're saying my but you're saying my argument, Majid.
No, it's not an argument.
Black people without the label.
You know what we was doing? That's what we did. You know what we was doing?
Describe black people without the label.
Describe anyone. Describe anyone
it's
without a
not
label.
Your face is
No.
Black people.
Describe anyone.
It's
My brother. You know my brother? You know my brother? You know my brother? You know my brother? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I would do it. I deal with the issue in the black community without the label.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say these two men have stabbed each other. Yeah, one stabbed each other 1 month. Next man see the next man the next month they stab each other. Let's now sit down and have some mediation.
Why should I
between
care?
them
Why
two.
should I care?
You don't have to. You don't have to. Safe. Yeah. Anyone that does, anyone that's got humanity in their heart.
I shouldn't care.
Maybe it's people local in the community. If it's a
But
friend,
there's no way
if
to
it's family.
identify
Yeah.
problems
I don't
in the
need
black
to.
community.
I don't need to identify.
How do you
Fam,
identify
I don't need to
racism
give it the
without the
label.
label? Identify racism without the label.
I don't need to identify racism without the label. I'm saying my man is treating me
so
different.
it doesn't-
My man is treating me different from how he's treating this man.
Why?
Yeah, and
Right.
I believe it's because I
And when
don't
you
look.
and when
I believe it's because I don't look the same way as him, and he looks similar. Their favoritism, they feel more similar to me. That's obvious. I'm not saying them things that tribalism, all them things don't exist, fam. I'm not even saying that racism don't exist, fam. What I'm saying is, whatever label we give it, the act is still the act, fam. Yeah. So if you're gonna
not
fight
even
for
in
freedom,
question. We've been there
whatever
already,
label
you
is
know.
given,
That's not
the
in
fight for
question.
freedom is the fight. What's more important?
Let me give you an example.
The mission, the movement,
Let me give you an example.
the intention, or the label
If
you
we're
give
talking
it.
about movements in the black community,
dealt with intention.
if
I
we're
want to
talking,
answer the question.
yeah, I
want to answer the question.
I deal with history,
I wanna answer the
innit? You know
question.
my thing is history, innit? So if we're dealing with movements in the
wanna
black
answer the
community
question.
that move
Fam,
for the
we could've all
advancement of the black community, they all
labelled brown.
have to.
And be fighting for brown power and it'd be the same
They all have
shit.
to use a label.
Brown equality.
And listen, when the Black
Right,
Panthers,
I
when the black,
Fine.
one
It could've been exactly the same.
minute, when the Black
just a
Panthers
label.
linked up with white people, what they had is black power for black people, white power for white people, red
Right.
power for red people, brown power for brown people.
Define the thing.
Because they had to define the
What they were
different
dealing with.
communities.
That they were
Because they
dealing
knew
with.
that everyone's dealing with
Because
different things.
politically, everyone was absorbing that that
No,
them
it's a
labels.
reality.
Everyone wants to
reality.
living
Because
by
the
that.
reality-
You're
Everyone
saying
wants
that.
to
But
because
you're saying
red
that.
people. Who's the red
When I
people?
ask you,
Can I just say
but hold on,
something?
hold on. Who defined us?
Red power.
Who defined us as African?
Red power.
No. Who defined us as African? Who
language
don't matter, bro.
You're African.
It's very simple.
No. But the point, no. Hold on. Maji, wait, hold on. Fine. Wait, hold on, wait. No, I want to answer the question, Maji. I want to answer the question. Because man talk about African, yeah? And when I ask a man, who defines an African and what was the intention behind it?
I don't know. We don't need it.
Right. That's what
My
I'm
point is we
trying
don't
to
need
say.
a label.
No. But the point is, we're always going to use names to identify phenomena. Always. It's going to happen.
Change.
Right? Emmy.
How many men say Kemet and how many men say Egypt?
The
Them man
question
don't even
is,
say Egypt no
the
more,
question
bro.
is, what
Their
is,
paradigm is
the
shifted.
question
They're
is,
talking about the same land.
what is
Certain
the
man talk
name,
about Tamaray.
where does it come from,
Come on,
and what was
fam,
the
it don't
intention
matter.
behind it? Naming is a universal phenomenon. Yeah?
100.
The question is,
Except for where-
what is the
except
name,
for where they don't name-
where does
they
it
don't
come
label
from,
men
and what is
women,
the
where there's no-
intention?
Well, I learned today that there's a place.
Naming.
I learned today that there's a place.
understand,
where
Maji.
Sorry, am I correct?
I
learned
wanna-
today
I'm trying to
that there's a
fin- I'm trying to
place
finish,
that
you
they
know.
don't label male and females.
I'm trying to finish.
This is what I learned today.
I'm trying to-
Yeah?
but
Yeah.
they're not-
They say they don't
This
have
is what I'm
exactly.
saying. But naming
they don't
is a
have
universal
the label
phenomenon.
for- So
Yeah, but
a universal phenomenon for what?
But it's the point I'm trying to make. No, you said that, yeah. You said that, yeah.
For what,
You said that,
fam?
yeah. In many African languages, there's no word for individual.
Object.
Ah,
Yeah,
can I
but the
say,
individual still exists.
can I say something?
Whether there's a
Let me
word for it
say
or not.
something.
So you're proving my
That's
point
my
of
major
the
point.
thing can exist without the label.
No, but
There's no word for
But you
individual.
could.
Are you telling me there's no individuals in that society?
You're changing the point, Maji.
Come on, bro. No, I'm
No,
not.
you are because I never
said
no,
the
because I never said that there's a word and a name for every concept in every language.
Bro, you said
what
there's
I
no
said
word for
was
individual
no. What I
in-
said
in
was
some African
naming
concepts,
is
yeah?
a universal phenomenon.
All right, well,
yeah?
go back to the
right.
individual
Hold
thing.
on. No, I'm trying to answer the Africa thing. Yeah. What matters is, now I answer the question though, Maji. Right. What matters is who gave the name, where does it come from, and what was the intention
Who told
behind
you?
it.
Who told you? Who gave
Fam,
Africa the name?
You
Where'd you get your information
you can study things in,
Yeah, I'm asking
in
you.
history.
Who taught you that?
Who taught me?
Yeah.
Many people. But
Okay,
if
who?
but
What
one
men?
of
What
the, one of the
what other
major
men?
people.
And can you get them down here? Or maybe that's the man we should be talking about if we're defending something that someone else taught.
But I'm not
Meanwhile, you could have just lived on the land and never been aware of that name. And next man in England saying, yeah, them man are African, and yeah, in 16 and 18 days.
But, now man, answer
it
the
don't
question.
matter,
You know.
fam. They was the people are the people.
The
problem is the
but
labeling.
you say it don't
The
matter.
labeling is
But
where the
you say
trickery
it don't
comes.
matter. But you say it don't
And the
matter.
controlling comes.
But you say it don't matter. But you say it don't matter.
I think,
No.
I think it's a bit
Fam,
strange.
people now, you know.
There's a
Now,
butterfly. We call it. There's a butterfly. There's a butterfly here. We call it.
Can I say something?
Oh no,
Can I say something?
There's a butterfly here. What you call it?
Oh no.
How do you know that?
Can it talk?
How do you know? It communicates. Does it have a desire?
But we're not talking about.
You understand?
Oh no, wait.
Can you speak
Wait,
butterfly?
Jedi. We're not talking about. We're not talking. Oh no, wait, no. Erroneous comparison.
Can you speak
Erroneous analogy. You know why? You know why? Erroneous analogy. You know why? You know why? You know why? You know why? Because
May I have a
we're
voice?
not talking. Oh, one second, King.
May I have a voice
We're
now,
not talking.
bro? No, may I have a voice? Because we're talking about labels, but here's the fact, bruv. We all been fucking mind controlled. Because you know what? Man fighting over labels, bruv, or something what they're not. Because what you are, a being, fam.
the point I
You
said the whole
express
time,
yourself,
though.
bruv.
This is my
No,
point.
but that's what I'm trying to tell. I've been with man argue, and we're all arguing, and I know this is it. It's mind controlling because you know what? When we, no, hear
Even in
this,
the Bible,
no,
yeah?
facts,
In
bro.
the Bible,
When we
they-
go
they-
through
they
the
tell you
99
that.
attributes,
Yeah, they tell
you
you
know,
that
we
God
went
gave
through it the
Adam
other day.
dominion
Listen,
over
man.
the
Hold
animals.
on.
And
It's
gave them
labels,
rules to
bro.
label them.
It's labels.
By labeling them,
All right.
It's labels.
Can I say one thing?
Let me break it down.
over them.
Let me break it down.
It comes from the education.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing? Hold on.
Anything.
Can I say
That's
one
magic,
thing?
demonology, anything.
Hold on. Step here. Step here. Hold on, come here. I love that. Hold on. Hold on. You go hold on. Hold on. Stop.
1 second.
Black. Hold on. I'm that song. Wait. Hold on. Yeah. I came here. I came in the park. Hold on. I came in the park and said Black Power. Yeah? Yeah. Remember this, bruv. I come here and I talk to a lot of people. yeah, and I reason with them. And more I come here and I try to put people in a different level, I could take certain labels off, yeah, and step up on the knowledge. Because it's knowledge, fam. Because you know what?
was Huey P's
Remember
philosophy?
this, bruv.
What was Huey P's
Remember this,
philosophy?
bruv. Remember
What was
this.
Fred Hampton's
If I say
philosophy?
Black
What was the
Panther,
start of Shaka's
hold on. If I
philosophy?
say Black
What was
Power,
Mumia Abu Jamal's
respect,
philosophy?
man. If I say what Black Power or African power, me knowing that every word I use as an Englishman is a mental programming factor, what came 400 years through the point of slavery. Remember, not European Newton, really Rick, back in 1960, remember, when Marcus Garvey even used black, he used the word Negro. So that on that
That's a good example.
On that
That's a good example.
Hold on, man, because you talk, bruv. You never used the word, yeah, you got red, black and green, but Marcus Garvey never used he used the word Negro. He made the newspaper called Negro because in the 1930s, of our people's mentality, we was called,
But you're making a good point.
but we was called Negro.
Yeah.
1960, Willie Rick, yeah? I Stoke Michaels, Baraturi, yeah, Kumaturi.
Right.
Change that
I was gonna say it's before, you know, but I wouldn't let me
definition.
speak.
The word of the English.
Right.
Remember, you have
Right.
to go through the English slave language, what got its only definition, right? So when you go to the Webster's dictionary or definition of the word, it's not the damn meaning, bruv. So as your culture's where it goes up, bruv, you got Calab here, must put himself, he's commit.
Right.
You understand? He must put his commit. You will call yourself African.
Hold on.
It's titles and labels.
Hold on.
You attach yourself with.
No. But you made the point.
I don't hear it.
That's what I'm saying. Stop.
What I want man to explain to me.
Why do you have to call yourself something?
What I want to explain to me is how.
Man's got this. What do we? Man says, yeah. What should we all call ourselves? What do you mean? We can be all man them. You could be different.
Man them is a name.
Why do you listen to their label? That's their label.
Come on.
That's their label.
And man them is
That's what I'm saying.
not.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that who you are?
Man them is
Are you an IC3?
Fam.
Labels have value, innit?
Are you an IC3?
But
Are you an IC3?
But you're still giving.
Are you an IC3?
No. When you bring me,
If they never called, if the police came out and called you nigger and never called you IC3, would it make a difference to you?
But you've gone back into what they call us. We're talking about what we call ourselves. Yeah? IC3 is a different thing,
and not everyone on that continent calls themselves African.
We are talking about what we call ourselves, innit? Now you might debate me, but you might debate me. But you might. Wait. Fam, my G.
I don't understand.
You know what I'm saying? You're still scared of it.
People who are not African, yeah.
Come again.
Have this explanation and this way of thinking of how African people live. Do you get what I'm saying?
Say that again.
I'm just gonna use the
Pull up.
title.
We'll not come again. Say that again. Say that again.
Hold on 1 second. I don't care, yeah, that I'm using the title because I know it's not Africa, yeah? But that's a long story, you know what I'm saying? But just for the sake of discussion, yeah, I'm gonna say Africa, yeah? As African people, yeah, right, they're not clued up, right? And they're not African. In that sense.
Who's not African?
No, they're not African in that sense.
Who's not
because
African?
Us in the diaspora of Africa, yeah, are telling you, like, bro, that's not so.
That's not what we are.
You're
What's
gonna
not
go
so?
against that.
What's not so though?
No, that what am I saying? You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying?
Yeah, most Africans
Man's confused,
call
man.
themselves Africans. No.
If they learn that, if they've learned English, then there's a possibility they could consider themselves African. Yeah?
But African is not an English word. African is not an English word.
If they have learned, but
it's not an English word.
But so many of them, do not use that term to identify themselves with. So many people that live on that continent. So it's not a unifying thing. Only in our eyes, because we understand. But you're saying I understand.
But you're saying it's upon what? But you're saying it's upon what?
But this is the whole conversation.
All right, let me show you something.
Bro, 1 second. This is the whole conversation we've been having here.
Because you're wrong. But you're wrong.
These people,
but you're wrong.
Listen, these people will still be those people.
Who's these people?
The people on the continent.
Yes.
I beg you listen, fam. It's not an argument, fam.
But you're saying the people on the continent, like there are not people on the continent who are unified by the term African.
I'm saying, but there's people that are not, fam.
But there are people that are.
Listen,
I'm not more powerful.
But
But
there are
there
people
are people that are not.
Hear what I'm saying
The
to
people
you,
that
fam.
are the ones that are
Hear
going
what
to
I'm
come
saying?
together and
Yeah,
change
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing.
But there's
So the people that are using the label that can actually change the thing.
There's people in
The people that ain't using the label ain't going to change
Don't tell me
nothing.
that,
They're going to be
There's people
divided.
in Africa. I beg you listen to this.
Come on,
listening to you,
bro. You know what it is.
Fam,
I'm listening, go on.
Bruv,
No, I'm listening,
this
go
man
on.
lives in a nation of people that don't even consider themselves black or African, fam. What are you
Are you
talking
from
about?
Somalia?
Well, you
Are
there's
you
no
from Somalia?
Somalians that
Are
say
you
they're
from Somalia?
African and say they're Arab. And say they're Arab.
brother,
Anyway,
fam.
do you get
No,
that?
no, no,
The point
but
I'm
you're
saying,
wrong.
the point I'm saying, listen, no, one
You're
second.
wrong, Maji.
The point I'm saying, one second, listen, hear what I'm
You're
saying.
wrong, Maji.
The point I'm saying,
You're
listen, the point I'm saying, listen, one second. The point I'm saying to you, I'm going to come back to you, one second. The point I'm saying to you, the people, fam, one second. The people in Africa that live and exist in Africa and don't use the terminology African, yeah? Do they exist?
Yeah, they exist.
Yeah, okay.
But their existence
Do
is
they
not in
exist
question.
without the label African?
Their existence is not in
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Their
but that's
existence
not all-
under any label is
this
not in question.
That's all we've been saying.
No, but no.
That's not all we've been
That's not
saying,
all we've
fam.
been saying. That's not all we've
They
been saying.
exist-
That's not all we've been saying.
They exist
Get that.
without
That
the
is-
label.
That's not all we've been saying.
They don't need
But
the
we
label.
agreed that long time ago.
They don't need the label.
We agreed that hour ago.
So then what's
We
the
agreed-
point?
All people.
So what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point?
Let's get that. Let's get that.
What's the point?
What's the point? Let's get that. What's the point? What's the point?
That's been, I
What's the
told
point?
you five times. That was the whole point.
Let me ask you a question. What's the point? What's the point?
One thing.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Go on, what's the point?
Obviously, me.
I thought you was making a point.
Coming from a.
I am making a point.
So you stop me.
No, I didn't stop you. You asked a question. You asked a question. You asked a question.
I was only warming up.
You asked a
You
question.
just smashed out on me.
I was
How
only
that's
warming
out?
up.
You was like, exactly
I
what
was
you
doing
did.
that with Raspect because he was coming, but I'm going to let him come in.
Explain
Right?
how
Hold on.
you
No, wait, don't ask me another question.
Africans
Don't
about
ask another question.
It's not even that.
No
It's not even
gang
that.
without no African or black.
Man's giving me 5 different questions, you know. I'm not going to get to answer one. Hold on.
But it's a label now. It could have
I'm
been
a humble
anything.
guy, you know. I don't shout over people, you know.
There's no gang
I'm
without
going to do it, my G. I'm going to do it.
There's people in gang. There's people in gang. Yeah. There's people in gang. You know what you're doing right now, yeah? 1 second. Our history.
Camera. Yeah, say the thing. Right, vote.
No, but you're going to know our history better than us.
Right. Let me clarify. Do you class yourself? Hold on, brother. Would
No,
you class
they will know
yourself?
their own history.
You from the continent?
You know why I'm from
Right.
Horn? Because when
Right.
you're Horn of Africa.
Right, hold on.
Well, what you call yourself?
You label yourself as African.
Do I label myself as an
Yeah,
African?
because,
If someone asks me where are you from originally, I'll say Africa.
Why is that a question though? Why is that a question?
Fam, what I'm trying to say, no.
No, I'm not. Oh, basically, there are some Somalis who say that we're not African.
No.
So basically,
But why is that, though?
Do you want to get into that?
We could get into that.
I'm not into it.
okay, so basically, if someone asks me where are you from originally, I would say I'm from Africa. What country? Somalia.
No, but
Yeah.
why are
Is
people
that what you
that's
call
even asking that is disrespectful?
What do I label myself? I'm a human being. That's why I label myself.
Right, that was the whole point. Right, thank you.
But even human being is a label. It's still a label, and the concept of a human being is not universal. People have to. I know what you're saying. It's not. You're not wrong. You know. What I'm saying is, it's still a name that people have given to a concept. Yeah. The self is still a name that people have given to a concept. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, now, bro. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Because you asked a question a minute ago, yeah, about the point, yeah, and what it is, this thing about African, yeah, and what it means, and why people use that terminology to refer to I and I. And what I'm trying to say is, people with a liberation ideal said we need to self-identify and identify collectively. Right? And said, we come from this continent called Africa. Therefore, we are all African. When people all around the world were trying to disassociate themselves, from that identity. Forget the name for a second, but from what it means to come from that place, the culture of that place, the food of that place, the spirituality of that place, and
or just where you come
as a whole, it didn't matter if it was north, south, east, or west. From it said Africa. No. Hear what I'm saying. No. Wait. Hold on. No. There was no culture in Africa that was deemed civilized by the people that oppressed us. Every single one of them was of course. What are you talking about?
What's the first civilization on the land?
No, you guys somewhere else, my G. That's not the point. The point is,
according to the
no,
European.
hold on. Wait. Hold on.
What's the first civilization on the planet, bro?
Fam. There is no culture. Cause you guys somewhere else, my G. It's not even about that.
This is basics.
It's not
study history.
It's not about, but it's not
Man
about.
conned the crowd into thinking that man was saying anything other than you can
I didn't
exist
say anything,
without
bro. No,
the label.
we agree that we agree,
and the
we agree
label,
that way down.
The object does
Fam,
not. So,
we
but that's-
agree that.
Okay,
we agree
so then what
that
was
way
I
down.
saying wrong? So what was I saying wrong?
We were dealing with specifics.
What was I saying wrong?
Right, let me say what's going on. We're dealing with the specifics now.
It's just like the
Jedi,
value of
hold on,
gold.
Hold on, Jedi.
Gold has
Jedi,
no
hold on a
value.
minute. Just
Gold has
hold
no
on a
value.
second.
What's the label on it?
No.
Or price on it? Sorry.
This is what I'm trying to say. We were debating specifics.
I'm trying to show it's basic.
We have a premise. Come on, it's going nowhere, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's have a premise.
No.
We're not learning.
Wait, hold on. The only point was, no. The only point was. Yeah, the only point was we were one second king. We were talking about black, nigger, and African. Yeah, we agree. Can I say this? We agree that the people that are called black and African can exist and do exist without the names black and African. We're debating now what is the worth of those names.
Exactly.
Yeah? And whether we should be called by those names or not.
The worth is whatever.